Hey everybody, today I am out in New York and Kia has brought along the all-new Kia K4 sedan. Yes, sedan, and yes, K4, it's replacing the Forte in their lineup. Now, the Forte was one of the few vehicles available in North America for under $25,000, including destination. So I have to tell you the bad news, which is I don't think this will be quite that inexpensive. We don't know any pricing yet, but I would not be surprised if it ended up a little bit closer to the Honda Civic in terms of its base price, because we get a lot more standard equipment in the 2024 K4, including features like adaptive cruise control being standard, lane centering, etc. Moving around to the side, you'll notice that the design is definitely very different and very similar to the K5 sedan, which is actually the one right back there behind me. They've moved the door handles for the rear doors over here. The design is definitely distinctive, and I think it actually works with the chrome line below and the dark line above there. It kind of gives this a bit more of a hatchback or sportback-like vibe, but it is in fact actually a sedan. So we have a regular trunk right back here, something that honestly, when I first saw the pictures, I had not expected to see, but it definitely is still a classic sedan format. It looks like we get a pretty decent amount of room in here. It's probably going to be pretty similar to the current generation Hyundai Elantra, because of course this is related to the Hyundai Elantra as far as the basic design here. We have the very distinctive LED taillights in the back that really flow onto the side, kind of mimicking what was going on up front. Aerodynamic treatment down there at the bottom of the bumper. The backup light is right there in the middle. This is the North American K4, in case you're wondering. This is the global debut of the K4, but this is certainly going to be the North American model that they've brought us here. Now let's take a look at the inside. Jumping inside, we find very distinctive headrests. This general design was first seen in the EV6, and we find the same sort of jacket holder right back there on the back of the seat as the EV6. And speaking of that EV model, these seats actually remind me a great deal of that EV6, with the contrasting leather right there, the leather on the inside in black, and some of the contrasting elements that we find on the dashboard. Now, in the world market model that we first saw pictures of, they had a different colored door on one side than the other. That sort of avant-garde feature does not appear to be coming to North America. Moving across the dashboard, we find two big screens over here in the dash, just as you'd expect in a modern Kia model. Controls for the infotainment and climate control over here in the center section. Not touch buttons like we find in the EV9, but a relatively similar design, all things considered. Below that, we find the USB inputs for the infotainment system, Qi wireless charging mat, pretty traditional console shifter, big cup holders here with these roll-out sections. So that way you can convert this to a larger, squarer storage area for tablets or larger devices, and then pop those cup holders out. We then have the soft touch armrest, large storage area right there, and definitely a very distinctive Kia steering wheel. One of the things that a lot of folks have been asking about is the Kia logo off to the side. Yes, that does appear to come to the United States. It's that sort of asymmetrical look there. It's a tri-spoke wheel with this contrasting leather wrap on top, drive mode button right there in the middle, like some of the EVs, and the newer buttons on either side. This model has paddle shifters, which is definitely an interesting touch. Now, Travis is back there in the rear. That front seat's pretty far back, but it appears to be a little bit roomier than I had expected. Keep in mind, this is a compact car. How's your headroom back there?
I'm still rubbing up against the top of the roof, but I do fit better here than most other vehicles of this size.
The driver's seat in this model has a two-way adjustable lumbar support and a power seat design and seat memory over here on the door, two-position, along with seat heating and seat ventilation. An interesting thing with the Forte that this replaces is that that's always been one of the models in this segment that's delivered more premium features than we find in some of the competition. Under the hood, we're going to find two engines. There's going to be a standard 2-liter 4-cylinder naturally aspirated engine mated to a continuously variable automatic transmission, or an available 190 horsepower 1.6-liter turbo that's going to use a traditional 8-speed automatic, not a wet dual clutch or a dry dual clutch like we've seen in some of the turbocharged Kia models of the past. Rather unfortunately, the one thing we're not going to find under the hood is a hybrid system. And I do think that's a pity, because fuel economy hasn't exactly been Kia's forte in the past, although they really are trying to shatter that image with a whole host of hybrid and plug-in hybrid options and, of course, a full EV lineup, but no hybrid K4. And I do find that a little bit disappointing, if I'm honest, because of course we have not only a hybrid Elantra, which is the Hyundai relative to this, but we also have a hybrid Corolla, which sells really well. Of course, the new Prius, which has fantastic fuel economy and sexy good looks. And then of course we're going to get a hybrid Honda Civic coming very soon, if I can actually spit that out. But the one model missing that hybrid system, at least for now in this segment, is going to be the K4. I wouldn't be surprised if it got one at some point in the future, but it won't have one at launch. Let me know what you think about the design, and of course, let me know what you think of the pricing down there below. I suspect it's going to be at least a $2,000 jump over the existing Forte, but we will know more of those details a little bit later this year. This goes on sale at the end of 2024, so be sure and stay tuned because hopefully I'll be driving one probably around October or November 2024, and that's probably when we'll know pricing. See all of you later.